Welcome back to another episode of Surly Saturday here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR the Ohio Patriot. And for today's Surly Saturday, we're going to talk about a bunch of different things, including how Jameel Bowman, just like every other Democrat, is a fucking criminal. They all are, dude. They are. The rhinos are. A lot of mainstream Republicans are, for that matter, as well. And, yeah, the whole system is corrupt as fuck, is what it is. But in Bowman's case, specifically, he should be thrown out of Congress right now, based on the fact that they had a hearing today. It was a little, to avert this whole shutdown thing, which, by the way, they did avert it now. And that alone, the whole fear monger from the mainstream media and everything else like that, should see them held criminally accountable along with their different politicians and stuff like that of various parties. Just fucking people's lives is what it is. But anyway, so basically, Bowman's dumbass, to avoid actually having an actual vote on something, walked outside to the lobby area and literally pulled a fucking fire alarm, committing at least one felony in the process. And it's like, bro, okay, at what fucking point is this asshole going to be given 15, 20, 30 years now, just like the January 6 people are? Oh, wait, that's right, he's not going to be because he's a fucking Democrat piece of shit criminal who's literally fucking insider trading every day with his worthless ass career and stuff like that and everything else like that for now. And for all we fucking know, is doing all kinds of child molestation and stuff like that to kids nowadays. Yeah, because that's the one thing, by the way. If you actually look at our government currently, and this is back when Trump was in office, but it wouldn't surprise me if Bowen was one of these people. You actually had a running list of people who are child molesters in our current U.S. government and Senate/Congress. So, not okay, man. Not okay at all, for that matter. But anyway, so basically, going and talking about that as a thing, obviously. Then we got a few other stories I want to discuss here that I'm going to try to pull up here. Yeah, we got Congress reverts government shutdown and stunning twist, passing deal with bipartisan support. So basically, it was some BS stopgap bill. I heard AOC talking about it earlier today. It's a bunch of shit entirely, dude. I don't know if there's any funding to Ukraine in there. It better not be, honestly. But the entire point of the matter is, it's like, first of all, we shouldn't be funding any other country at all, dude. We're not the fucking World Bank. We're not the world government. We're not the world police. You shouldn't be policing other countries. You shouldn't be funding other countries financially. You shouldn't be doing any of it. You shouldn't be doing anything that puts the American people into a bigger national debt and higher inflation rates, period. Or it causes us to have to basically get into a war or something like that later on, be dragged into war because of fucking NATO and shit like that. Like, fuck that, dude. No. We should not be dealing with any of this shit. If these people got a fucking problem with somebody, let them deal with it themselves. If they want to actually buy, and that's the thing, right, too, by the way, it would be one thing if Ukraine was like Israel right now, where you have Israel buy missiles and stuff from us every year, every couple of years, whatever it is there, for their whole Iron Dome defense, there is what it is. It would be one thing if you had Ukraine doing the same thing, where they're like, hey, we're going to, pay you guys money and buy weaponry off you and stuff like that. And it's like extra shit that we have to sell to them is what it is, like various tanks and planes and things like that. But the thing is, we're not doing that. They're not giving us a fucking dime. They're taking billions upon billions of dollars from us for nothing and giving us absolutely nothing in return, dude, except higher inflation, higher national debt, and basically fucking everybody for generations to come is what it is. And it's a bunch of shit entirely, dude. It's like, no, the American people did not vote people into office to sit there and write fucking blank checks to their nations for some bullshit proxy war. We put people into power to actually represent us as their fucking constituency is what it is. That's the entire point, and that's what a lot of people fail to realize, dude. You represent us, motherfucker, not the other way around. We're your bosses. You're not our bosses, assholes. And we have the legal right and legal authority to remove your asses at any given time right now, especially at state levels, depending on how states are set up with recall voting and stuff like that. But yeah, every single person that's currently in office right now should probably be kicked the fuck out of office right now, honestly. And then we had that idiot Ethan Klein, H3 moron, bitching and moaning about. He put out the most retarded tweet I've ever seen in my entire life, actually, which is, Dianne Feinstein should have stepped aside for the younger generation 2 decades ago. Instead, she pathetically clung to power and obstructed progress What happened to planting trees that you will never sit under? Fuck her and fuck RBG and fuck any other geriatric piece of shit. And it went on from there basically. And it was basically who was clinging on to power is what it was there. Actually, let me see if I can find the rest of it now. Yeah, so fuck any other geriatric piece of shit that puts their own ego, self-interest, and desperate hold on power above progress. Pass the baton and I'll honor your legacy. Until then, it's just just retire and get the hell out of the way, is what he said here. Oh my god, just go ahead and pull this up so people know I'm sharing here. Yeah, it's this bullshit right here. Which is funny because of the fact that Ethan Klein of H3H3 there, pretty sure he called for the murder of Republican people a while ago. Like right after Tim Ryan did, as a sitting congressman. Pretty sure that Klein basically called for mega Republicans to be murdered then too. It's like, bro, how are you still on YouTube or any other social media site for that matter and not under an active police investigation for terroristic threats and shit? Yeah, really makes me wonder, honestly, man. And again, it's because this douchebag is fucking pure blue and Antifa type and stuff like that's what it is. So, anyway. But the whole point is, though, it's like, what Klein really means is like, Feinstein should have passed power to some fucking ass clown like him 20 years ago. And I actually will agree with him on one point though, and this is something I've seen with both major parties. And this is why we need to have term limits in place in this country. And it's a simple solution, honestly. We make it 23 with the Constitution. It is term limits, age limits, health limits, and automatic disqualifications on both holding office and running for office. And basically, the holding office would be if you're pushing through some kind of gun control agenda or some like hardcore abortionist agenda, whatever it is there, you're disqualified from the fucking seat entirely. You're kicked the fuck out on the spot. And potentially you catch charges relating to deprivation of criminal laws, what it is then, since you're trying to deprive American citizens of our lives as well as our freedoms to keep and bear arms. And then for those running for office, if they're running on those kind of platforms where it's like, abortion on demand without consequence, anti-gun up the ass kind of shit or whatever the case be, like, no, you're just disqualified from even running for office. That's what it is. And it would be as simple as that, honestly. And it would make for a better class of actual civil servants in this country again, not politicians anymore. And that's the biggest problem, I think, with a lot of people do. They want to sit there and call themselves politicians many times, and of course, we fall for it too. But in reality, they're civil servants. They are supposed to be doing what's best for the citizenry that elected them into office. Many times they're not, especially when you get to the federal level. Almost always, they're either insider trading illegally and committing all kinds of fucking, felonies that would actually get us arrested, but because they exempt themselves from the bullshit, they can't actually go to jail now is what it is, which is absolute BS entirely. And that's another thing that needs to be stripped away for that matter too, man. It's like, no, I don't care who the fuck you are. If you are committing any kind of insider trading shit, you're done. You're done. You're being hauled out to federal prison, and you're never seeing the light of day ever again, man. And it's as simple as that, really. And that's how it should be treated, honestly. And again, if we actually put criminals where they fucking belong, you wouldn't have this kind of issue right now. So, anyway. But yeah, moving on from there. This one I thought was pretty funny. It was a climate change activist has private jet, 10 examples of hypocrisy that everyone is angry about. Yeah. I mean, it always is. There are always hypocrites about that stuff. It's just fucking retarded. And then we got, I'm going to see if, I don't know if I can screen share this or not because it's in another browser thing or whatever here. This is from the Bing browser that I have, and my computer installed automatically is what it is. But yeah, it says new bill forces parents to affirm kids' trans identity. Resist sterilizing your child, you lose custody. That's so fucked up. And by the way, this is all obviously in California and stuff like that, dude. So, I'm going to see if I can grab this headline and if it'll pop up in a thing here or not. Or maybe I'll just try to grab it as a whole thing, if that be the case. So, okay, let's see here now. All right, let me just grab this as a whole then, if that be the case, and see if I can pull it into the Firefox browser here and then screen share it from there. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I'm reading this thing right here. Says in a highly contentious move, California State Assembly has approved a bill, AB 957, which mandates judges in child custody cases to consider whether a parent has affirmed their child's belief that their identity is transgender. So fucking disgusting, dude. It says mandatory gender affirmation. Originally, AB, or what would be here, House bill is what it is. So I'm guessing it would be Assembly bills, what they call it there. So basically, it would be like House bill or whatever. Proposed that courts handling custody cases should check whether each parent affirmed the gender identity of their child in question. However, an amendment in June escalated the requirements, ordering the parents must affirm their child's gender identity to be considered fit for ensuring the health, safety, and welfare of the child within a court of law. Dude, like, again, this is the kind of shit I'm talking about for auto DQs on Office. If you're gonna vote through garbage like that, you fucking need to be in jail yourself right now, bitches, in California. Like, honestly, the best thing that happen right now, honestly, truthfully speaking, that could start a revolution in this country would be people in California growing some goddamn balls, walking into the California General Assembly and mass arresting every single one of these fuckers in office right now, dude. Just across the board. I'm talking about even the ones that didn't vote for the shit, dude. Because they're all corrupt as fuck. They want to be removed and replaced at this point, man. And yeah, if they did that stuff, because the thing is, you can actually citizens arrest somebody if you can have felony charges against them, is what it is. Which I guarantee you, the fact that they're trying to deprive you of your rights as a parent, they're trying to take your kids away from you, dude. The state is trying to steal your fucking children from you. Like, yeah, pretty sure that constitutes as like several felonies at that point by the state of California and lawmakers in the fucking state, if that be the case, dude. So yeah, pretty sure you can legally arrest their asses on felony charges at this point now. But yeah, it's just so psychotic, man. Like, and people wonder why that kind of shit pisses me off, dude. And it's because I see this shit every single fucking day. When you see these young kids, these young, teenagers, early 20-somethings, everything like that, where it's them like realizing a few years after the fact, they're like, oh, I fucked up. It's like that Chloe Cole chick and a lot of those people like that. They're like, they're 18, 19, 20 years old and stuff now. And, it was when they were 10, 11, 12 years old, we're told, oh, and by the way, Chloe's entire story is a fucking prime example of what I'm talking about, because her family was told, both of her parents were told when they walked in the doctor's office, they're like, this piece of shit doctor, who shouldn't even have a medical license at this point, by the way, was like, do you want a live son or a dead daughter? Like, what the fuck kind of question is that, dude? What the fuck kind of shit is that? What the hell happened to do no harm in medical industry, bro? What the hell happened to do no harm in the actual doctoring industry? To sit there and try to make those fucked up claims like that, dude. Oh, your kid's gonna kill themselves if they don't get gender affirmed. Fuck you, doctor. Like, that right there, honestly, that kind of shit should trigger an immediate lawsuit by any fucking parent against this fucking piece of shit that has a medical license right now, to have the fucking board of that state strip their fucking license forever is what it is. Just for them making those claims, dude. And it happens more and more every single day in this country. And it's absolutely, truly sickening, because it's literally the medical industry trying to make lifetime patients is what it is. It's so fucked up, man. And of course, we got lawmaker question after pulling fire alarm in House building today. Yeah, that was a piece of shit Bowman there is what I'm talking about, dude. This one I thought was pretty interesting. This is actually a Daily Caller article that I'm going to pull up right now, which is look this up here now. It is, again, about the whole going down the transgender line. Here's what it is. Trans high school cross-country athlete who ranked horribly in boys division, now dominating against females. Because, of course, dude, that's how it always fucking is. It's these piece of shit beta males, or delta, or some kind of like zeta male, whatever the case be there. It's like some fucking low-energy motherfucker is what it is, dude. Who knows that they can't hack it against actual alpha males. So they're like, how do I get an advantage? Oh, that's right, I'll just identify as transgender now and go compete against the chicks without ever doing, first of all, going through male puberty, number one. Number two, now having more bone density, more strength, etc., better tendon strength in my legs and stuff like that to run faster against these people. Never actually going on any kind of estrogen treatments, because, of course, that would disqualify you from actually competing, just like with that piece of shit Will Thomas there in swimming at a college level. Because had that dude actually been on various drugs like that, he would have been DQ'd because it would have been considered to be he would have tested positive for that kind of stuff, and it would have been considered like doping, basically. It's the same thing with high schools for that matter. But yeah, so you have these dudes, just like going back to a little cross country thing there, and I started off this whole thing back with Selena Soul and them other real biological chicks versus those two black dudes that were in there. And it was literally, you had one black male in, I want to say that was Maryland, but I could be wrong about that one. It might have been, maybe it was Connecticut now I'm thinking about it. That sounds right, actually. Connecticut, Massachusetts, place in there. Anyway, one of those original, colony states is what it was. But the entire point is, though, you had one guy who, I believe it was sophomore year is what it was. Or maybe it was his junior year at that time. Did a bunch of shady shit, realized that he was doing like beta fucking times against other guys in the track team is what it was, and was like, hey, let me go compete against the girls now. And then it was the next year his buddy joined him is what it was. So you had basically 1 year, it was actual biological females taking 1, 2, and 3. The next year, it was biological male taking first, biological females taking second and third. And then the following year, it was biological males taking first and second and switching off with each other because they're buddies. And literally Selena Soul and all of her friends taking third and bronze being new gold for these chicks. It's so fucking outrageous, dude. And what's even more disgusting about the whole thing is that they actually fought this stuff in the courts. And the courts fucked up big time on this because they're like, oh no, it doesn't violate stuff. It doesn't violate, I think it was like Title IX or something was what it was. And it totally violated a bunch of stuff, dude. It violated like everything. And that's exactly what led to most of the stuff we're seeing right now with the whole, banning trans and girl sports and stuff like that and all that stuff like that. Because we have it here in Ohio. It's down there in Florida and stuff like that, or places like that for that matter. All these different red states. And it's because you have to, man. Because these motherfuckers are such pieces of shit in general. They will never just compete against their own fucking sex. Because they know that they can't, is what it is. And so if they think they can get a leg up on a chick, they will. And they'll destroy female sports in the process. It's fucking disgusting, man. And the worst part of it is, the most disgusting part of it is, you have so many of these young females out there, and the parents, etc., of a lot of these people, being like, oh no, it's fine, honey. It's fine for the men to compete against you now. No, it's not. It never fucking was, dude. And that's the problem right there. And you have all these school administrators being like, no, it's fine. Leave them in there. Doesn't matter that they both have, dicks and balls and everything else like that and have a shitload of testosterone that's going to give them unfair advantages and stuff like that here against actual biological females. Oh, wait, we're actually competing for college scholarships now at various events and things like that. These actual biological females are going to get fucked over from. No, sorry, girls. Tough shit. All these guys are going to take your stuff now. And again, that's the biggest problem right there, is you had so many of those chicks in the Selena Soul story who, not only just her, but everyone else like that got fucked out of first, second, etc., that were then, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever then in the line. They lost out on a ton of scholarship money to go to colleges on athletic scholarships because of these assholes. And it's the same bullshit every place else, dude. And that's why exactly we should ban these fucking people, dude. It's like, nah, bro. If you were born a biological male, go compete against men. Or don't compete at all then. Or hell, if you want to create some fucking third league that's like, some made up bullshit or whatever the case be, okay, cool. Guess what? You're not going to get a fucking trophy, though. If you want to do some like trans league, whatever the case be, that's cool, bro. But we're not going to give you a trophy by default is what it is. So, anyway. But yeah, it's a bunch of shit entirely, though. But yeah, going back to actually reading that for a little bit here. Said, this is the type of story that will make you livid if you're a girl's dad. If you're a girl dad, like Andrew Powell was here. So while most of us will be in front of our television enjoying football over the weekend, I know I will. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so the 22nd edition of the Maine Cross Country Festival of Champions will be taking place, with one competitor in particular, Soren Stark Kresa, creating a crapload of buzz for all the wrong reasons, said Soren, who is a biological male, ran in the boys division last year as a freshman for the Coast Waldorf School in Freeport, Maine. Let's see, it said running in the 5K of the boys division, that person ranked 172nd. Now, as a sophomore running in the girls division, they shot up the charts to number 4, dominating the opposition. Jesus fucking crazy. And that's the thing, right? Like, this motherfucker can't even pass as female, dude. Like, that is a dude wearing lipstick right there. That's what that is, man. 100%. Such a fucking slap in the face, man. Such a fucking slap in the face. Yeah, and as this Andrew guy that was writing the story said, what a disgrace. Said, when you compare the best finishes for that person in the boys and girls divisions, it makes the dramatic difference. In the boys division, Stark best place was 14th, while in the girls division has a victory in one race and a second place finish in another. And it even gets worse. The win that they got came with a time of 18 minutes and 55 seconds, a whopping 1 minute and 42 seconds faster than the second place competitor. What a fucking joke, dude. It's truly sad what's happening to our girls. Absolutely infuriates everyone. Yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah, what a bunch of shit, dude. Like, seriously, what a bunch of shit. That should really make everybody mad. If it doesn't, you're not using your brain right now, dude. So, and then of course we got another one from Daily Caller here, which is Obama appointed federal judge beholds ATS bump stock ban. Bunch of shit entirely, dude. That's the one problem I do have with Trump, honestly, is he literally opened the door for that shit because he's like, oh no, bump stocks are an issue, whatever the case be. It's like, no, they're not, old man. And you would know that if you actually knew anything about the Second Amendment, which you clearly didn't. And it proved that recently here, like I think it was last few days actually, because he went to Homeland State Armory the other day, earlier this week is what it was, and actually learned about the Second Amendment is what it was there. Donald Trump did, and it's like, yeah, dude, hey, you learned about that, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, fucking 60 fucking years ago or something, when you were a small child, whatever it is there. Maybe you would actually care about the Second Amendment then, bro, instead of fucking with it under your presidency, guy. And it does make me kind of question, like, do I really want to vote for this guy again in 2024? And the answer, honestly, is no. Do I really want to vote for anybody else on that fucking stage right now? And the answer is really no, honestly. Do I want Democrats to even hold power at this point? The answer is no. Do I really want a federal government at all anymore? The answer is fuck no, honestly. Like, truthfully, we'd be better off if the entire federal government just got dismantled right now on the spot, with the exception of, like, a few random agencies that are just paid for through every single state would be then, like Border Patrol and shit like that. But even then, you'd have to, like, weed out the bad ones now that are actually cutting fucking fences to allow illegals into this country illegally is what it is. Yeah, you toss those fuckers out, throw them in jail where they belong, etc., and replace them with better Border Patrol agents would be then, that aren't corrupt as shit. And from there, you basically would do a different thing entirely. But yeah, outside of that, you'd basically just have a whole thing where it would be, states' rights retake front, take stage front and center, and you would basically just have different states conglomerating with each other. Then is what it is. And I've talked about this many times. We could actually have a decent balkanization in this country right now, where you just have like mega block states, where it would be like 10, 12, 14 states, whatever, to come together, and it would be essentially a council of governors. And if you ever had to have somebody go overseas for some, thing or whatever the case be, you would just have that, council come together then or whatever. And you just pick like names out of a hat, basically, of like, okay, who's going to represent America now? Okay, it's governor, such and such from wherever. And then somebody else from over here is what it is then, to various overseas trips then. We wouldn't need a president anymore. We wouldn't need Congress anymore. We wouldn't need a Senate anymore. Any of that shit, dude. Wouldn't even really need the Supreme Court for that matter. Well, maybe that a little bit actually would be a thing too as well. But yeah, like I would say pretty much like if you went back to what our federal government should have been currently under the founding fathers' vision, it would be maybe 100 people entirely. It wouldn't be, several thousand individuals that are basically just various paid people or contracted people, whatever the case be. It would just be a few dozen here is what it is. And that's one thing that Sarah Gonzalez of Texas. I'm not sure if she's a congresswoman or if she's a state rep. I think she's a congresswoman for Texas, though. I'm not sure, though. I haven't actually looked into her thing. I just know she posted this earlier today. Or was it yesterday, actually? Either way, it was this thing, which is basically, she said, I hope government shuts down, and I want it to stay shut down. We, the people, employ over 2 million civilian federal workers and pay over 4 million contract workers. This is not what our founding fathers envisioned our government to be. This is, if you are not essential, you should not be there. If the country can function while you're furloughed, your job shouldn't exist. I would say the same exact thing, by the way, with congressmen and senators, lady. If you can be, and it's not even being furloughed, it's if you're not there to go do your job and the country can still function without your ass, then your fucking job is not essential, bitch. Anyway, as she continued on, said, this means you cannot pay your bills, go out and get a job in the private sector. Good call, congressman. The same thing with senators. Good call. Y'all should go do that, man. Because you're clearly not representing us anymore. You're representing your own fucking special interests and shit like that. You're representing giant corporations that pay off your fucking various super PACs and stuff like that's what it is, and pay for your fucking admission into the U.S. Senate or U.S. Congress, whatever it is there, by funding your fucking bullshit campaigns is what it is. Anyway, and Sarah hit on here and said, if you have marketable skills, you should be able to get a job. If you don't, then why the hell would I want to pay you with my tax money? Which is ironic because seeing as the fact that she is a potential congresswoman, Congress doesn't pay taxes, man. So you're just straight up lying, Sarah. I'm pretty sure even state reps don't pay taxes for that matter, dude, or any kind of like thing in the state government for that matter. I don't, at least not state taxes anyway. They might pay federal taxes or something, but like, yeah, pretty sure if you're a sitting politician at all, anywhere at a state or federal level, you don't pay taxes in the system, dude. Especially not at a federal level. And it makes you wonder. It's like, yeah, people were just fucking scumbags, is what it is, man, for real. So, anyway, but yeah, it's a bunch of shit all the way around. And it really is pretty disgusting, honestly, when you look at it, man. And it does make you wonder. It's like, you know, at what point is enough, honestly, man? So, I don't know. But, yeah, very irritating. Very, very irritating. And like I said, it's just one of those situations where it's like, you know, at what point is enough, really? Oh, and then you got this good one I want to point out here, which is basically just the insanity going on in this country currently, where you have people who are clearly not white being booked as white into prison. It's 6 different black males being booked in as white guys. This is, do these offenders look white to you? Because they were booked in as white / non-Hispanic, white non-Hispanic, white non-Hispanic, white non-Hispanic, white non-Hispanic, white non-Hispanic, except they're all black males, dude. Like, what the fuck, bro? And then, of course, that makes sense when you have the federal government then being like, "Oh, white supremacy is the worst thing that could happen to America right now, or is like the biggest threat to America right now, whatever the hell the fuck they put it there." And it's like, yeah, when you consider a bunch of black males white guys, of course you're gonna play that fucking role, is what it is, dude. But that's not the case at all. The real case and point of the matter is that it's these fucking guys that are career criminals like that doing that shit. It's just fucking retarded. That's what it is. I don't know where that. Sorry, I was looking through something here. I don't know where the fuck that came from. Huh. Alright, whatever. I do want to mention something else while we're here, which is the whole issue 1 here in Ohio come November. If you live in Ohio, you should be voting no on this, obviously. And this is the whole thing people's put out here about yes vote versus no vote. A yes vote allow for the constitutionally protected murder of the preborn neighbors, put Ohio's Constitution at odds with the Equal Protection Clause of the U.S. Constitution, and provoke God to bring his wrath on our state because of the shedding of innocent blood. A no vote protects us, or allows us to protect the preborn with the abolition of the Abortion in Ohio Act. Not only that, but it also stops child sterilization, top everything else. There's what it is, dude. It says allows us to protect the preborn with the abolition of abortion, Ohio Act. Okay, they basically wrote that twice, and they said that third time is what it was. Thing is, though, it also stops child sterilization too, for that matter, because that's the thing. Now I've talked about many times in here. You have the people who have pushed this shit forward, is what it is. Which, by the way, had we actually had the real issue one, which was back in August, which should do a 6% threshold on our state constitution, then just like 40-something other states have already, is what it is. You would have had the left never be able to get their 88 counties, what it is, dude. Because the thing is, even with this abortion shit, they weren't even able to crack, I think it was 50. They couldn't even get 50 on board. I think it was like 47 or 48 or something like that is what they actually got eventually. That had enough votes in them to basically get them over the threshold to get this on the ballot measure. But the thing is, they could barely get half. They could barely get just over half the state, dude. And that right there shows you exactly who really supports this shit. And it's these dumbass counties that are major cities and stuff like that, dude. Where the majority of the shit came from. And the surrounding counties around them is what it is there. They're just outside the major city areas. So it's a bunch of blue hell pockets. So, anyway. There is something else I do want to mention here. And this is something I heard here recently on, it was one of the people on Reddit there. It was one of these leftist subreddits and stuff like that. I forget which one it was, but it was like a week or two ago I heard about this stuff. And it was some dude who was obviously like this rabid leftist who I guess hates Republicans is what it is there. And he was talking about Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene, which, I'm going to go ahead and bring up a picture of these two chicks because this is one of the ones I actually found that was of the two of them standing by each other there. So you got Boebert on the right and MTG on the left there. And it was basically, I believe the scenario was you would get paid $25 million a piece, I think is what it was. So it'd be like $50 million in total to have a three-way with the two of these chicks. However, the caveat being that both of them in that three-way get pregnant with your children and after the fact would basically raise your kid as a single parent for 18 years. So essentially you would have two children out there, one with each one of these females. You would get paid $50 million and they would basically raise the kids for almost 20 years of their lives as a single parent. And my thought process was like, that seems like a pretty good win-win to me, honestly, dude. Because like their values for the most part align with my values for the most part. So it's like, to me, that's just fucking money in the bag, baby. That's some money in the bank right there. For real. Like, give me the bag. Give me the bag with a big ass dollar sign on it, 50K in it, man. Or 50 million in it. I'll fucking, go throw that shit in the bank is what it is. Now, granted, that being said, obviously I want to see my children as they're growing up there. And what's funny to me too is that the person that was this like rabid leftist person is all like saying it would mean like you're being strapped to these people for like 2 decades of your life, more or less. And it's like, bro, again, you're acting as if that's a bad thing. Like it's not in that case, at least not to me anyway. So, I mean, granted, I think Lauren Boebert is much, especially going by that picture, is much, much hotter than Marjorie Taylor Greene is. But either way, I mean, it's like, hey, kid with both these women, like whatever, it's like some super magical sperm, whatever the case be, where no matter where you fucking come, you still have a kid with these people. So it's like, yeah, whatever, man. I should say a kid apiece with each one of these people. So yeah, you got 2 children who will be there. But yeah, to me, it's like, whatever, man, honestly. The thing is, though, with my whole thing is like, again, like I said, I want to actually, see these kids as they're growing up and stuff like that. I want to know who their father is what it is there. I don't really care if the caveat is them being raised by, these women as like single parents essentially. But again, it's like, just because you're a single parent doesn't mean you don't have like shared custody and stuff like that, dude. Like you could easily have like dad on the weekends or something like that, or dad, some week or whatever it is there. So, yeah, I would have no problem with that, honestly. Now, granted, if we were to say something where it was like some random like 3-way with like squad members, like, I don't know, like Corey Bush and fucking Ilhan Omar or something like that. Or no, sorry. I was trying to think of the 2 ugliest ones. Corey Bush and Rashada Tlaib. That would probably be the 2 ugliest ones, actually. Or like Ariana Presley and Ilhan Omar or something like that, I'd be like, fuck no, bro, not for all the money in the world. Never. So even AOC is just a piece of shit at this point, honestly, dude. Actually, that would be a more interesting one, right? Like if you're like one side or the other of the aisle, even like in the middle there, if that be the case, like where you just like throw like two opposites together or something like that in like a three-way where it'd be like AOC and MTG or like Lauren Boebert and Ilhan Omar or something like that, or maybe Ilhan Omar and MTG and then Lauren Boebert and AOC, something like that, like some mixture thereof or whatever the case be. Like that would be, I think, a more interesting scenario then, because it's like, okay, would you still take the money knowing that they're both going to get pregnant and stuff like that? And it's like, yeah, probably not, honestly, like just because of that reasoning. But anywho, yeah, I thought it was an interesting scenario though that somebody brought up there, and it's like, it really is like going back to what people were saying about the whole Trump derangement syndrome back in the day with the left. It's the same exact shit here, man. You have these people who are just so much rabid, hardcore leftists that you just have these various elected officials in office right now who are just living rent free in these people's heads, man. To where you got some nutcase, I'm thinking it was a guy in that situation, spending hours of his life thinking up some fucking scenario of this whole thing and then having the, wherewithal to go and put it on the fucking internet for everybody else for that matter and be like, oh no, it's guaranteed. And there was like these people that were like, because even people were talking about like various caveats to it of like, oh, that's why you only do anal or whatever the case be in that three-way or whatever. And it's like, the guy was like, it doesn't matter, dude. They're still going to get pregnant anyway. Because again, it's like magical sperm or whatever. So it's like, yeah, dude, why wouldn't you go vaginal intercourse then? And that's the whole point entirely. But, yeah, the entire point is, though, it's like, yeah, it's just people basically trying to skirt the system and do stupid shit what it is there. But either way, it is what it is. And like I said, I thought it was interesting when I heard that scenario like a couple weeks ago now. And it really does resonate, like just how fucking retarded the left is, honestly, at this point, dude. Because I guarantee I'm not the only person that's like, right leaning and stuff like that would be, oh, okay, cool. I get, a shit ton of money and I get to sleep with I should say one very beautiful woman in Lauren Boebert and one semi attractive chick in Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like, that's a win-win to me, man. Honestly, plus it's a menage a trois, bucket list achieved kind of thing there. Fuck yeah. So, anyway, actually, I'm gonna see if I can find a better picture of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let's see if I can get a good pic here of this chick. Okay, so yeah, I showed that previous picture, and I think honestly, it really does depend on how she's looking that day. Honestly, like I feel like definitely Marjorie Taylor Greene's like one of these like two or even like three face people or whatever, because when you look at, like I said, that picture of it's Boebert in the front and then her in the back there, like she's not that great looking in that picture. But then like you see like a different picture, like one of these other ones I'm gonna pull up right now from a Google search. Like this picture right here, man. Like that one right there on the left, like she's smoking hot in that picture, dude. The one on the right, she's not as much. She's more like the first one there. Or like this picture right here, like she ain't bad looking there, Or even that one right there, she's pretty decent looking in. Obviously, that's her stage photo where she's really hot looking there. But yeah, like if we're talking about like maybe like this or like, like something like that one there on the left shows up to that party, dude, and it's like me, her, and Lauren Boebert. Like, fuck yeah, man. All day, every day, baby. So, anyway. Yeah, just figured I'd give my insight on that one since it was Shirley Saturday. And we got to play it, man. We got to play it off a little bit, Because you might as well. You might as well, man. It's like, why not? Oh, also, while we're at things when it comes to anti-gun and the left and stuff like that, don't know a damn thing about guns. You had this stupid shit a while ago from Vice, which is high caliber bullet poked through one of the gates outside Guzman's house in Juarez, Mexico, Juarez, Maria Salino. So I'm guessing that would be Mexico. You literally have a fucking live round there with bullet and shell casing and everything together still, dude. That they memed up into a thing where you pretty much took a bullet casing, or you pretty much took a bullet hole, whatever it was, and just like shoved an entire round into it, entire cartridge there. Sorry, I mean like some weird shit outside right now for some reason. But yeah, like that was just so retarded entirely. And again, it shows like the anti-gun left, like they have no fucking clue, man. They have absolutely no fucking clue what's really going on here, man. This one, actually going back to the anti-gun stupidity here is what it is. This one I actually found a couple weeks ago too. And this is why I fucking hate the left so much, dude, because they don't know a fucking thing about 2A. They don't know a fucking thing about constitutional rights at all, for that matter, and just want to shit on Republicans is what it is. Which was this jackass, Siles Dode, said, Republican Party platform, literally according to them, make guns easier to acquire and carry in public with little to no oversight, make food harder to access for kids, especially for families that are poor. Any Republican voter is welcome to try and prove me wrong. I can prove you very wrong, dude. It's called literally a constitutional right, you fucking ass clown, for the gun stuff, number one. And it's not them trying to make it easier for people to carry. It's them actually fucking respecting the Second Amendment, at least in some part, to where it is not being infringed upon, dickhead. It's why they're passing constitutional carry laws. It's why they're passing standard ground laws in other states, because you fucking Democrats, by the way, are the ones who are pushing fucking so goddamn hard to release every single criminal back on the streets. It's just like that piece of shit Larry Krasner, the DA of Pennsylvania there for Philadelphia area. This motherfucker, there was a dude, a black male, who murdered somebody last year. This asshole let him fucking walk back onto the streets, and this past week there was a riot going on over some cop being acquitted for killing some other gangbanger. And shocker, this fucking murder guy, this dude who murdered some dude last year, who was let up by Krasner, was back on the fucking streets to go do looting and shit like that. Or just like that bitch that they called Meatball there. This bitch filmed her fucking crimes, literally going into a fucking Popeyes and stealing food, and then going to a liquor store and stealing booze. Which, Jesus Christ, can you be more fucking stereotype there, honey? Can you be? I mean, seriously? Like, good lord. Like, fucking ridiculous. Like, you gotta laugh sometimes how fucking stupid these people are, dude, because it's like, stereotypes exist for a reason. That's why, honestly, dude. But the entire point I'm trying to make is, though, is yeah, she was in jail for like a day, and then they basically let her out with no bond, or very little bond is what it was. And now she's selling fucking mugshots, t-shirts as merchandise and shit like that, dude. Of her mugshot. And it's like, good lord, dude. Like, this is the entire problem with our society in a nutshell right there, dude. Like, stop letting criminals off the fucking hook is what it is, dude. And you wouldn't need to have standard ground of constitutional carry laws in every single state in this country, honestly. But because you're not doing that shit, because you keep letting these fuckers off in these Democrat-run hell pockets, you have to have states enact constitutional carry and standard ground and stuff like that, dude. Which, by the way, I'd like to point something out for that matter. And I'm actually going to point this out specifically what this guy was saying here, which is, how'd they put it now? Yeah, it said make it easier to acquire and carry in public with little to no oversight. So that's a fucking lie, by the way. Number one, you have to, in order for you to constitutionally carry in the state of Ohio, you have to be over 21. You have to be a non-convicted felon, so you can't have a convicted felony on your record or anything else for that matter. Even like misdemeanor domestic violence and stuff like that is a disqualifier for being able to constitutionally carry in the state, dude. If you really have any criminal record of violence, you cannot carry a firearm legally in the state is what it is. Constitutionally carrying, open carrying, any of it is what it is there. So that's number two on that whole thing. And then, or wait, was that number one or number two? I can't remember now. Whatever. So yeah. No, sorry, that was two. Because yeah, you have to be 21 over. You can't be a fucking felon / person under disability, whatever you call it there is what it is for that charges. And then third, you have to actually be able to not, you actually have disarm in certain places. You cannot go into various places with your firearm. You can't go into various fucking courthouses. You can't go into government buildings. You can't go into places like that is what it is. You can't go into any federal building in this country or the state or whatever the case be. You know, depending on if the stuff has like a no gun sign or whatever the case be, you're technically supposed to disarm in those places. But if they don't know you're actually carrying, you can carry in there still. It's just, you know, if they would find out you're carrying and you basically do whatever there, it would be them having to basically ask you to leave. Then if you don't leave, then they can trespass from the place. You can potentially be arrested by the cops for that reasoning if you're not leaving and stuff. Now, granted, that all being said, First of all, the cops actually have to come out there and do a trespass order on you or try to trespass you from the property and give you the option to leave, first of all. And if you don't leave, then it's a whole thing. But again, it's a whole situation there, dude. But that's the problem right now, right? Like any of these gun-free zones that exist out there, dude, all they are is kill zones, legitimately. They're kill zones for criminals because you're opening yourselves up, number one, to a giant lawsuit. If somebody were to die in your premises there, their family could sue the shit out of you because you created a fucking gun-free zone where they couldn't carry into. And then number two, you have no armed security or any kind of security for that matter on duty, which honestly it should all be armed at the time. And so you're putting people's lives in jeopardy that way is what it is. So it's like, yeah, if you're not going to provide me with armed security, don't provide myself fucking armed security is what it is, dude, for real. But anyway, so yeah, it's a lie when they talk about that kind of stuff, dude. It's a straight up lie in many cases. It's not they're making it easy to acquire. It's that they're not, again, the only easier requirement, buddy, is the fact that you don't have to pay a bunch of fucking taxation to a state, which, by the way, infringes on the Second Amendment itself at that point. But of course, your dumbass doesn't know a damn thing about the Constitution, dude, because none of you fucking leftists ever do. It's why why none of you fuckers over debate me is what it is, dude. Because you know for a fact I would mop the fucking floor with your asses on any debate of any topic for that matter, whether it be guns, whether it be abortion, whether it be fucking First Amendment rights, Fourth Amendment rights, any of that stuff, dude. Any topic across the board for that matter. That's any kind of political related stuff is what it is. I would fucking wipe the floor with your asses at that point on almost all of it, man. And even that I wouldn't, I'd still be able to do damn good at you, is what it is. But then the second part here, it says, make food harder to access for kids, especially those who are poor. Not true, actually. Especially if you're a single mother, here, at least in the state of Ohio anyway, and many other states for that matter, that are red states. You have welfare programs, dude, that these kids are being on to get food stamps and stuff like that is what it is. And they're being given government assistance is what it is there by single mothers. As long as you're a single mother, actually, for that matter, as long as you're a single mother with kids, dude, you are getting a fuck ton of money every single month is what it is in this country. Now, granted, if you're a single guy with no dependents, you get fucked in the ass hard as a fuck is what it is, dude. Hell, if you're a single guy, if you're a single father for that matter even, it's harder to get food stamps and stuff like that as well for that matter. It's only when it's basically a single mother, welfare state, welfare queens, whatever you want to call it there, that it actually makes it easier that way. And I think the whole point they're trying to make there is it's basically being like, oh, but, Democrats are signing all these bullshit bills or whatever the case be to, like, fund free lunches for kids at schools and stuff like that, dude. It's like, okay, what about the kids that don't need free lunch? What about the kids whose parents are rich as fuck and they could actually afford to, pay for their meals and stuff like that? Oh, yeah, that's right. You're giving all these people a free handout now, too. And you know what you're doing in the process on that one? You are forcing taxpayers, in many cases, the working poor who can barely afford to put food on their damn table at the house for their kids that go to this fucking school, to now pay for some rich kid's fucking meal, too, for that matter. And that's the entire problem with the whole universal fucking lunch programs and stuff like that, dude. No, it should be a needs-based lunch program. If you cannot afford a meal, you should not be without a meal that day. If you're some rich motherfucker, though, that can easily afford to pay your own damn food bill, and, if nothing else, like your entire table's meals for that matter that day or whatever, no, you should not be given a fucking free handout, dude. It's just like a whole reparations bullshit, too, for that matter, man. When you have people out there who are very much black entrepreneurs that are, multimillionaires at this point, or, various rap artists, whatever the case be, musical artists, etc. there, that are worth, millions of dollars, not hundreds of millions of dollars for that matter. And even in some cases, possibly billions right now. But yet, you want me as a poor white guy to pay reparations to these assholes for, number one, the fact that my family were never slave owners, because they didn't come here until the 1900s, well after the fucking Civil War happened. And number two, myself, who has never owned a slave, and these people who have never been slaves, and maybe not even had fucking slaves in their families, but yet you want me to give them reparations anyway. Fuck that, no. It's such a retarded argument entirely, dude, and that's the problem with the left at the end of the day, man. And that's going back to the whole Ethan Klein thing, too, for that matter. What these people want, they don't want progress. They want regression. They want to take us back to a time when segregation still exists in this country. They want to take us back to a time when the Klan still exists in this country. They want to take us back to a time of racial division like fucking crazy. which is what Obama basically started back in 2009, 2010, place in there, especially up in 2014 when he gave BLM a hate platform on the White House. There is what it was, to spew their black supremacist bullshit, and then grift everybody after the fact with their fucking garbage ass organization that did nothing but fucking money laundered like crazy in 2020, etc. There in 2016, 2018, all these places like that. It was all for DNC and shit, dude. And that's the thing too, by the way. If you actually look into the BLM's whole, all the money they took in from the 2020 rioting and stuff like that, doing donations from various giant corporations like Walmart and Target and stuff like that. Every single one of those places, dude, almost every single dollar they took from these places, all went straight to Act Blue and to basically get various Democrat candidates into office by paying for their campaigns in the 2020 election cycle. And it's what they're trying to do again now here in 2023, going into 2024 currently. Because again, that's the only way that Democrats can actually raise money, dude, is through burning down this fucking country and basically doing like some bullshit demand crap where it's nothing more than extortion at the end of the day to then make a fuck ton of money, literally billions of dollars in funds that they funnel through fucking BLM, etc. there, a terrorist organization that in this country currently and always has been. And then they want to sit there and act like, oh, but da. And meanwhile, it's the same assholes that keep letting out of prison then. They're the ones committing all this fucking crime, dude. Hell, there was a video the other day during that rioting there in Philly. And this was a great one where we always go back to that quote from that dumb bitch AOC where she's like, oh, they just want bread to feed their families. Yeah, pretty sure when you literally have like 50 people breaking into a fucking electronics store, bitch, and the first thing that they do is grab a bunch of TVs and run out with them, that's not bread to feed their families, you dumb hoe. It's literally ghetto Christmas is what it is. It's a 5-finger discount. Everything is free as fuck, dude. Because they're stealing everything. And then they wonder why these same places, you know, whether it be a mom and pop shop, which I think is what that one was, actually, it was like a father-son store or whatever, or whether it be just some giant corporation, you know, 3-4 months later, because they have nothing on the shelves to actually sell and make a profit off of, why they keep folding up shop. You wonder why all the Walmarts and shit like that went out of Chicago now, and you got fucking dumbass Brandon Johnson, the mayor there in Chicago, being like, oh, we're going to have government-run communist fucking grocery stores now. Because they have to, dude, because they're literally forcing the other ones out by having people walk in there, and instead of actually buying food, they'll just walk in there and fucking graze the goddamn shelves and start fucking eating shit on camera. You know, there was that great video recently, actually, I saw, where it was, I want to say it was 3 or 4 black females, actually, and then it was a small black child, too, for that matter, that they were indoctrinating with their bullshit there, which I'm assuming it was more like they just gave her food to eat is what it was, honestly, from that whole pack of shit, because it was like Oreos or something they gave her to eat is what it was there. But yeah, they're just sitting there munching on like junk food is what it is, dude, and drinking like all kinds of fucking sports drinks and stuff like that in the place, and then being like, yeah, we came to Walmart to eat for free and stuff. It's like, no, you came to Walmart to steal fucking food, bitches. And the fact that the company itself isn't prosecuting your asses to the fullest extent of law right now for doing that is everything wrong with this country, honestly, right now. Which technically Walmart does do that, by the way, now. The Waltoners, anyway. Especially if you'll do, because what it is you have a running thing going through the self-checkouts there is what it is. And it's usually the same people that'll do like bullshit scans or whatever, and then just put stuff into bags and walk out with it without actually paying for it. And the funny thing about that is, though, when you get to a certain amount, though, they'll actually send the cops to your house then, because they'll do, you know, various scanning or whatever the case be and do digital IDs of your ass. And then they'll send the cops out with arrest warrants, so it is there, which the sad part is, in some cases, there's been people falsely accused is what it is now, over the last couple of years now, and there's been random people having various arrest warrants put out for their arrests that never stole a damn thing from Walmart, though, because the cameras got it wrong. And it was these people paying for everything, but yet they had an arrest warrant out for them because they claimed that they stole shit or whatever the case be and didn't pay for it, and it's like they didn't do that, though, at all. But yet, meanwhile, you have others that do that stuff, actually, and they actually do get arrested then for it later on. That's actually one thing when it comes to employees at the store, too, for that matter. There was a great story my mom told me when she used to work there, where this woman that worked there, she would actually, whenever you had new quarters come out for the state quarters and stuff like that, and she had one that she needed to come through her line and stuff like that, she would actually take a quarter from her own pocket and do one of these where she held that quarter up and held the quarter that she took out of the register and was like, look, I'm putting this one back in here now to exchange it is what it was. And they end up firing her for that and trying to charge her for theft and stuff like that, even though she was actually doing exchanges for the shit because she needed the fucking quarter for her 50 state book is what it was there. Which, again, is the problem with some giant corporations in this country. You have a very good worker who's not doing anything wrong, technically speaking. They're actually just wanting to exchange stuff. But because you want to be a douchebag and be like, oh, no, that's theft. It's like, no, it's not, dude. They're literally exchanging one thing for another thing. You're still getting your money. It's not like they're taking fucking change out of your damn register for that matter. So, yeah, just pretty sickening stuff, dude. And like I said before, Walmart could be a better option right now if it was actually a giant distribution center in this country, honestly. And you just had them basically be a warehouse for, like, all these super centers be like warehouses for other places like mom and pop shops like an IGA or something like that, or smaller grocery chain or whatever it is, small electronics chain, whatever it is there, that would need 14 TVs or whatever the case be or something like that. And they could just go there and get them as what it would be then. So anyway. But let's see, where was I at now? Yeah, I think I'm technically out of stories right now, actually. Let me go check. I'm going to go check Breitbart right now for a minute here and see if we can find anything we're talking about there. Maybe some more Bowman story or something like that. And then I think we'll finish up here in about 5 minutes or so then. Sorry, wrong one. Yeah, Jamil Bowman under investigation for pulling fire alarm to delay vote to avoid government shutdown. Radical Democrat squad member. I thought the alarm would open the door. What a lying sack of shit, dude. What a motherfucking scumbag, man. And then, yeah, of course, this fucking douchebag was a former school principal. Acts like never saw a fire alarm in his life. What a fucking piece of shit, dude. That dude needs to catch so many fucking felonies and be expelled from Congress over this whole thing right now, dude. Legitimately. Fuck this fucking guy. Fucking lying sack of shit motherfucker. Yes, this former school principal pulled a fire alarm in the U.S. Capitol complex moments before a House vote was scheduled on a bill to prevent government shutdown. Did so because he thought it would open a door, as he falsely claims. What a fucking liar, dude. So, however, Bowman spent 10 years as a school principal in the state of New York that requires 12 fire alarm drills per school year. Bowman's office similarly issued a statement claiming that he did not know what he would trigger the fire alarm by pulling it. You are such a fucking liar, dude. You're such a bad, this thing. It'd be one thing if you were a good liar, dude, but you're not. You are a fucking terrible liar, Jamil Bowman, and you need to be tossed fuck out of office for this shit, dude. Not to mention the fact, I'm going to go back to something else with this douchebag here in a minute, which is the bullshit he pulled against Tom Massey here about, what was it, 6 months ago or so, give or take? Like March, April, May of this year, sometime in there. Where you had him go on this whole fucking temper tantrum. And as this person here pointed out on Twitter, it was the warning signs were always there with Jamil Bowman. We should have known. It's like, yeah, dude, it was, because the guy was a fucking lunatic. I'm going to play this right now, actually. This was the interaction that fucking Cockstein had with Tom Massey, like I said, months ago. And it was I think it was actually a vote for or against guns. I can't remember which. I think it was some gun hearing. I can't remember which way it was going, though, if it was for or against them. But yeah, this interaction alone should have seen this fucking cocksucker thrown out of office back then, dude, like 6 months ago. Oh, yeah. It was Massey talking about teachers carrying on campus.
Carry guns with more guns lead to more death. More guns lead to more death.
No, it doesn't, you fucking crackhead.
You're not looking at any data. You're carrying the water for the gun lobby. Look at the data. More guns lead to more death.
By the way, that false accusation right there about Tom Massey working for the gun lobby, or really any politician working for gun lobby, no, Jamil, just because your fucking cocksucker ass works for the anti-gun lobby, aka Michael Bloomberg, who's paid for your entire bullshit campaign, through every town, through almost main action, etc., who probably most likely give you direct bribes in cash envelopes, just like they did that bitch Allison Russo here a couple years ago in Ohio. Yeah, just because you're taking fucking bribes from anti-gunners, dude, doesn't mean anything. It just means you're a lying sack of shit gaslighter who wants to falsely claim the gun lobby pays for everybody else when in reality you're getting paid by the anti-gun lobby, you fucking clown-ass bitch. Douchebag. God, I fucking hate this guy so much, dude. Again, this is exactly why people in other states should be allowed to kick out congressmen of New York is what it is, or California or anything else like that, dude, with recall votes. Like, I would say, honestly, it should be like an adjacent state thing where it's like, if your state touches their state, like Ohio touches New York and stuff like that, we should have a legal ability to kick your fucking people out is what it is, dude. That would be great. That is a false. That is absolutely false. You're a fucking liar, Bowman. God, what a fucking psycho, dude. That dude's such a lying sack of shit, by the way. His fuck, like that's the thing too, right? It's this moms demand action bullshit data, false fucking poll stuff they always pull out of their ass. What it is, dude, being like, oh, up and carry states have more fucking what's? No, they don't, you fucking retard. What you have is you have proven statistics at this point where every anti-gunner hell pocket in this country, from California to New York to Chicago, etc., they're all fucking anti-gun paradises, have literally the most violence in them, have literally the most gun deaths in them, specifically because the only people who have guns at that point are cops and criminals, because you make it so hard for an average citizen to even get themselves armed in these states and these cities and stuff like that, that they can't legally defend themselves versus a violent fucking felon you keep putting back on the goddamn streets with slaps on the wrist and bail reform and everything else like that, where you're not giving them a damn bail to have to pay to get out of fucking jail again. And then you wonder why you got New York City that has that turnover rate like fucking crazy, where you got some dude who'll go out and commit like 50 crimes in a fucking day and be out 50 different times in like 15 minutes a piece is what it is, dude. Where you have the cops eventually tell them, hey, we're never going to bother arresting you now, dude, because you're just going to be out in another half hour, whatever it's going to be now, and be doing another shit then. And that was one thing they had there recently, actually. It was in the last, like, year or so, I believe was what it was. Which is, there was one dude who had committed just that many crimes as what it was. They were like, they had started that morning, whatever it was, and they had done some kind of crazy-ass felony that should have seen them booked and never allowed back out. But yet they were allowed back out within, like, 30, 40 minutes, whatever it was there. And then they just went on this entire crime spree and were arrested like 15 or 20 different times during that day is what it was for various things. I'm pretty sure the last one was like a murder charge then, which is when they finally locked him the fuck up and threw away the damn key then. But yeah, it escalated from like random retail theft to murder in the time span of like less than 12 hours. And it's like, Jesus Christ, dude. That's the problem right now. So, anyway. Yeah, we got McCarthy rolls deep state, advances government funding bill that cuts off Ukraine cash. Well, good for that. At least there's that, I guess. Cuts off cash for first time since Ukraine war started over a year ago. Senate clears stopgap spending bill with no Ukraine funding. Sends it to Biden's desk. Zelensky aims to boost his domestic weapons production. Again, you should have been doing that to begin with, asshole. And not been, again, if you want to buy some from us, that's fine, dude, but don't be trying to steal some from us is what it is through various fucking handouts, you asshole. This one I thought was pretty funny. Rocker Keith Richards on rap music. I don't really like to hear people yelling at me. That's too funny, man. I can't help but laugh about that one, actually. Actually, I was talking with a few people after one of Honda's chats the other day, and we were talking about that, and I forget who it was in the chat that brought it up there, that was on the panel, that was saying how it's like 90% the music. And it's because, like, when you look at, like, the rap music and stuff like that, it's all just, like, kill, 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 smack that bitch, shoot this bitch, etc., etc. And when you're waking up in the morning and listening to that all day long for the next 8 hours or so, of course, you're going to be all violent and nuts. So, anyway. Video, politician talks about buying border state congressman in Mexico. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Police, Tennessee teacher accused of, accused of raping 12-year-old, rearrested for warning victim he will regret telling the cops. Wow, what a fucking cunt. By the way, I'd like to point something out for that matter. It's mostly females like this that are the ones that are real predators these days in these school systems, dude. It's not males anymore. It's a police rearrested 38-year-old teacher accused of raping 12-year-old boy on Thursday in Covington, Tennessee, after she sent him a foreboding text message. Suspect identified as Alyssa McCummon was taken into custody at her residence a few weeks after she was arrested regarding rape allegations by New York Post said Friday. So Covington Police Department detailed the case in social media posts on Thursday, saying McCummon was arrested on fresh charges and coercion of a witness, aggravated stalking, and harassment on September 8th, 2023. Covington Police Department arrested Alyssa McCummon for rape of a child. McCummon posted bond and was subsequently released by the court on conditional bond of no contact with the victim or any minors other than her own children. That's what's even more disgusting, by the way. So she's raping somebody else's kid while she has kids probably that same age range, roughly, give or take. And first of all, why would you, like, this is the problem again, dude. Stop giving these fucking cunts slaps on the wrist just because they're some fucking bitch, dude. No, you throw the fucking book at them just like you would a male predator for that matter. And it ain't going to be something you got to rearrest this dumb bitch later on, dude. But yeah, that happened on September 8th is when they let her out of jail. September 26th, the same police department received information that former teacher, using a previously unknown phone number, initiated additional contact with a victim. Evidence indicates that she texted a victim using a specific code word known to the juvenile as the code word McCummon would previously utilize to confirm that the juvenile was alone, often before sending nude photos to him on Snapchat. After using the code word on September 28, 2023, evidence that indicates McCummon sent multiple text messages to victim indicating he would regret doing this. Using the same number, also admitted to a sexual encounter with the victim. So she basically fucking just self-incriminated herself on that one, dude, that she raped this kid. She needs to go away forever, man. For real. Go away forever, bitch. Never be let back out on the streets ever again, you sick fucking piece of shit pedophile. She's not even good looking either. That's the worst part, dude. Like, I guarantee she thinks she's some hot shit, dude, is what it is, but she ain't nothing, dude. And of course, she has to coerce small children. Fucking sick ass piece of crap. I really want to see that bitch's fucking trial now, dude, and see them throw the book at her ass for this one, dude. Fuck that. Fucking piece of garbage. Oh, God, I hate fucking predators so much in this country, dude. Not to mention there was that thing the other day in Florida where you had, I think it was like 35 pedophiles who were illegal aliens in this country arrested during it, and it was like 200-something people then. Actually, I'm going to see if I can find that story real quick, and then we'll finish off with that one, actually. Let me look up Florida. Won't that come up now? Let's see, Florida. Florida. I think it was sexting. Here we go. Yeah, it's Florida, 35 illegal aliens among 219 arrested in human trafficking sting. By the way, these are all the fighting age males we keep bringing into this country illegally, dude. That are creating foreign standing armies in our soil right now. Again, stop letting these sickos in our damn country, dude. This is why we need to have one strike laws on pedophiles in this country. Period. Anyway, it says number of illegal aliens were arrested in a human trafficking sting operation in Polk County, Florida this month, local law enforcement announced. According to Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd, 35 illegal aliens were among 219 arrested as part of a 7-day undercover operation. Of those illegal aliens, 12 were men seeking prostitutes, 18 were prostitutes, and 3 were victims of human trafficking. So probably kids, is my guess honestly on that one. It says 35 of them should not have been in the United States, but they were, Judd said. They were here as suspects, but they were also here as victims. They were forced, indentured into having to be here to pay off their transportation debt, among other issues. Said the illegal aliens arrived at the U.S. from Cuba, Chile, Venezuela, Mexico, Guatemala, Colombia, and the Bahamas. Says one of the illegals arrested is 30-year-old Freddie Escarola, who was charged with felony human trafficking, according to Grady Judd. Escarola loaned a victim money to fix her car and made her prostitute herself to pay back the money. So that piece of shit, according to Judd, was taking anywhere from 60 to 70% of the victim's prostitute earnings. He allegedly told police he worked with multiple female prostitutes. Quote, seeing an increase in illegal aliens in every operation continues, Judge said, we are seeing more numbers of in every operation we have, and that should give great pause to the people across the country. Exactly, dude. Said last month, Bay County, Florida, 7 illegal aliens were among 19 men arrested for child sex crimes, including one illegal alien who arrived on a B2 tourist visa, but failed to deport in 2021 as part of the terms of the visa program. Because shocker, dude, they're always visa overstays is what it is, man. So another one of the aliens arrived on a J1 exchange visitor visa, but was also overstayed after failing to leave the country in the United States in 2021 as well. Stop giving these fuckers visas into our country, people. They're never going to leave. That's the entire point. I don't care if it's a student visa, if it's a fucking work visa, a tourist visa, whatever the case be, dude. They're never going to leave when the fucking shit expires. They're going to find their way someplace else, and they're going to illegally stay here for multiple years until they're caught doing some shit like this. It's why you never give them the fucking hand to begin with, dude. Fuck that. I don't care if it's H1B, H2, fucking J1, any of that shit, dude. Fuck them. No. You ain't getting nothing in this country, motherfucker. And that's why Elon Musk can go fuck himself from the other day, dude. I called that bitch ass out for that one on Twitter, actually. Because he was talking about having legal immigration be like way easier now and not having any illegal immigration at all, whatever the case be. It's like, no, dude, we don't need immigration. We don't need any immigration in this country at all. What we need is actually mass deportation out of this fucking country for all these illegals right now. And then we shut our borders to everybody for like 50 fucking years. And you let Americans repopulate the fucking country. And from there, in 50 years or so down the road, after that moratorium expires, then we look at it and we say, hey, do we need any immigration in this country? Do we have multiple generations of new voters, new workforce, etc., to where we actually are full up? Okay, cool. We are full up. Yeah, fuck off. It's an indefinite moratorium now. And if nothing else, if it does end in 50 years, whatever the case be, then you have a forced assimilation during that whole time is what it is, dude. You know, you have one more round of people who are allowed to prove like, okay, you deserve to be here, whatever the case be, but guess what? You're going to assimilate into our country and love our flag. And if you're trying to plant your fucking country of origin's flag onto our soil, dude, guess what? You're fucking gone forever, bitch. Etc., etc. And do how it needs to be done, honestly. And there truthfully needs to be a whole thing on immigration in this country at all, dude. And it needs to be no fighting age males at all. Unless it's an entire family coming together, where it's like dad, mom, and a couple kids or whatever, that would be the only exception. But if you're single men, nope, you're not getting in, bitch. Because we assume you're going to be a fucking foreign invader after the fact. That'd be the case then. So, anyway. That being said, that's pretty much right for the day, though. I got some other stuff I'm going to do here in a little bit, and then go from there, basically. But yeah, this was not a bad episode. I wish there had been some people that I actually sent invites out to tonight that came on, but unfortunately it didn't happen. So it is what it is. But yeah, we usually do these for about an hour to 2 hours, depending. And it's been about an hour and 50 minutes right now. I said pretty much everything I want to talk about today. So, and the fact there's nobody else that joined the panel tonight, can't have a discussion or anything else for that matter. So, it is what it is. Maybe I'll just bring up some 2A talk in Honda's chat tomorrow or something like that, because I do want to talk about a couple of things right now. There was a few guns I wanted to discuss, actually. If I can find them here again, I'm not sure. So, yeah, I was going to do, just like we did the revolver thing the other day for Tuesday, I want to do something else here with kind of a which AR would you take kind of thing is what it is there. And I actually wish I had this small arsenal right here that I'm going to show in a sec here, but unfortunately I do not have access to this at all. Plus I would never pay for a suppressor is what it is there, like the top one has on it. But yeah, personally, if I was going to take one of these 6, it wouldn't be that top one because the suppressor in general is what it is there. But yeah, if I was to take one of the other 5 is what it is here. What I'd probably do is I'd have something like this second one down, except I wouldn't have the flashlight on the side of it there. I would actually have more like probably the third one there, where it's a pistol braced one. Except I would actually have more like the very bottom stock angled foregrip there is what it is on it, like that 5th one has. But yeah, I really like this 4th one actually. I think this is actually a side folder right here. This one looks pretty cool. I think it's actually just one piece is what it is. It is like a side folder there is what it is. And I really like the grip on that one particularly. I'm not sure who makes that. But yeah, this 3rd one's pretty nice. I like the Magpul furniture on that. That comes together real nice there. But yeah, I would actually like to have the 2nd one, I think, the most, because that's actually a rifle, not a pistol is what it is. The only difference I would do though is I would actually not have that little angled foregrip, or not angled foregrip. I wouldn't have the vertical foregrip on it. I'd have more like the angled foregrip like this 5th one has on it, and just do it like that, and then have that there is what it would be, and then take the light off there or whatever. Have the I think actually technically if I was going to do that one, I'd probably do this 4th dot on it there and just put it someplace in the middle here, like maybe right in front of the ejection port there. And then we would actually have backup irons on the front and back of it is what would be there. And you'd have probably a riser on something someplace in there, so it could be a full co-witness then. Because that's one thing I noticed recently with the AR upper I'm building right now, is that I still have to find my risers is what it is. Because I know I still have one in this room someplace. I just can't find it right now, or I need to buy another one maybe. But yeah, other than that, like, it would be a full co-witness with something like that dot there on the 4th one, but it's not because it doesn't go full co-witnessing for some reason. So I have to get like a riser to do my flip up sight then is what it is on there. But anywho, that being said, I do like these. I do like this whole thing though. Like I said, not a fan of the tack stamps though on that for the suppressor though. But yeah, I like every single one of these actually for various reasons. I think, like I said, that 4th one's probably the coolest because it's like a side folder somehow. That being said, that's also a failure point in any kind of an AR build if you have that ability, because you're basically having that weak point where it could potentially snap then. And I'm not a fan of that. I'd almost rather have something that is just like where it's like the original M16 stock or something like that. I'd rather almost have something like that just because of that reasoning. So you're not going to have that failure point. That being said, I'm more of a fan of the adjustable stocks is what it is though, because that way you can actually do what you need to do then. And for me personally, I like the Magpul furniture kind of stock. That being said, I actually have a variation of that for my own build here, and it's I forget who makes it, but it's I got it off the site that I got everything else off of though. But anyway, it was a pretty good deal actually on it. I think it was only like 10 or 15 bucks as it was there. So, but yeah, needless to say, got way too many fucking predators in our country right now, dude. Both American citizens and non-Americans is what it is. And they're all fucked in the head, man. And they ought to be treated the same at this point with one strike laws in this nation. Because if we do it right, we can do it right, man. Damn. Sorry, I was looking at something else right now for a minute before I finish this off. But yeah, this girl had. If you're on the Discord later, I'll probably just post it and y'all can see it there. That's what it is, dude. In the one section for anime stuff and whatnot. So, but yeah, other than that, that's where we're at for the day, though. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will be back on probably Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure which yet. But actually, we'll technically be back tomorrow night on Honda's chat then for the Gay Frog panel. But other than that, that's where we're at for the day, though. As we always like to leave these off in every one of these different chats I do here. Always carry with one in the chamber and always be carrying, period. Because if you don't, you may end up like Detroit Urban Survival Tactics or Instructor Mike, which is unarmed and in a bad situation. So, anyway, don't be like dust, period. Because you might just become dust in the wind, is what it is. So, anyway, have a good one, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Bye.